there is a creature alive today who has survived millions of years of evolution without change, without passion, and without logic. It lives to kill. A mindless, eating machine. It will attack and devour anything. It is as if God created the devil and gave him jaws.
Hi, everybody.
Hello. You know, you're scaring me.
This is Lori.
This is Peter.
And we're with Action Heroes LA movie review channel. And we are this weekend celebrating
The 50th anniversary
of
Jaws.
Jaws. 50th anniversary of Jaws, which was released on June 20th of 1975. I was a 7-year-old, and this scared the shit out of me. As it did everybody else, I think.
Yes, and it still holds up. I still jump.
You still jumped.
Yeah.
So Jaws came out 50 years ago this weekend. It is a classic. It is one of my favorite movies, and every few years I'm happy to watch it. It never gets old.
Never does.
It never does. So we watched it today. I watched it Friday. I've gone to the Hollywood Bowl and watched it with the Los Angeles Philharmonic playing the score. I love this movie. So we just want to talk about it. I've been in a real summer movie blockbuster
and
mood.
no spoilers.
No spoilers for Jaws. Oh my gosh. No spoiler for Jaws. So I've been in now summer blockbuster mood. I went through the original trilogy of Star Wars because my Ryan, who's usually joining us, was leading a special discussion on Star Wars and Ignatian spirituality, which was really interesting. I have since then gone and we watched Iron Man. And what else? Besides Sinners, which is like the summer movie blockbuster of this year.
Yes.
And kind of holds up. I think it's going to hold up to these.
I think it is
some of these classics. So I think there was something else I watched. I'm just drawing a blank right now, or I'm going to watch. So anyway, I've just been real nostalgic this summer for a lot of summertime things when I was a kid, and this being the 50th anniversary, it was fun to come back, revisit Jaws, talk about seeing it when we saw it the first time.
Yeah, but what was so funny, the first time I saw Jaws, it was just more regular with everything else.
What do you mean more regular? Jaws was huge, dude.
No, it was huge.
It was the first summer blockbuster movie.
Huge.
To you.
For me.
Okay.
Because, I get in about 3 feet of water in the ocean.
Oh, you know.
And then I would
before Jaws, you wouldn't get in the ocean. Like, man, I wouldn't get in the swimming pool after Jaws. I took forever to learn how to swim because I would not let go of the side of a pool thinking Jaws was going to come and get me. This movie, man,
See, now I can get into a pool, but you get me into the ocean and the seaweed touch me. That's it. You'd see me walk on water to the shore.
I actually love swimming in the ocean. It's an amazing experience when you because it's one of my favorite things. I don't do it very often, especially anymore, but it has been one of my favorite life experiences. I finally got over swimming. I did learn how to swim. Finally got over about Jaws eating me in the pool and have swam in the ocean because I learned how to surf.
I know that must be a great feeling.
Almost 10 years ago.
Our cousin Brian Domain.
Yeah.
He would swim so far out.
I don't know if I want to swim that far.
And I'd be at the shore going.
It's been nice knowing you. Anyway, let's talk about Jaws. It's Steven Spielberg's second movie. He was like 27, 28 years old when he directed this, you know, and it's just...
So was Richard Dreyfuss.
Richard Dreyfuss was 27 years old in this.
Yeah.
He's got like gray hair. I can't believe this. He's got like, you know, he's gotten some grays growing in at that age. Well, some people gray young. Yeah. But, you know, everybody looks old in this, you know, in this film. But, of course, it's a classic movie. It's suspense, it's drama, it's human nature. It holds up today. It's just a really good movie. That's the thing why it holds up. It's just not. It's not about this jump scares or.
No. Although I had one.
You did. We were watching it this afternoon, and one part I couldn't believe you jumped on. But I've seen it so much, and I just watched it Friday too. But, you know, watching it Friday, I kind of like jumped on a couple things myself.
But you know what I still don't understand?
What?
Why they didn't get a bigger boat.
Everybody says that line, you're going to need a bigger boat. I can quote lots of lines from this movie. It's like, here's the swimming to bow-legged women.
Yeah. There is that.
You know. But, of course, let's get into it. Steven Spielberg's first movie stars... Roy Scheider, not Schneider, Richard Dreyfuss and Robert Shaw,
right,
as the main characters in this. And this movie is, and I realized this many years ago, it's a lot about male bonding and male egos, and it does that so well. Seeing these guys kind of like their different approaches and personalities and characteristics, kind of combating each other and trying to get this thing, you know, to you know, find and capture and kill this monster that's terrorizing Amity Island.
Yes.
And
did you ever see that Amity seems to be always
a place of something bad, like the Amityville Horror?
Yes.
You know, I remember like there's a scene in here. And we pointed this out years ago. There's a house that looks like the Amityville Horror House. They were like, oh, you know, there was all these like conspiracy theories when we were young. It's like, oh, it's cursed. Everything's cursed with Amity. But yeah, this is just a great movie. You know, it's greatly acted. It's the suspense. Really is. It's you know, it's very well known. The shark.
Very well written.
Very well written. The shark didn't work, but that ended up being a benefit to the movie because
and the practical effects. This wouldn't have worked with CG, AI.
Yeah. I mean this shark. Yeah, I still, because I've seen it so long. It's interesting watching these movies with, you know, the old practical effects, and it still works for me. I don't know. I wonder, like, on a younger generation, would they say, oh, that shark looks so fake, or would they be wrapped up in the story? I think the story is so well told that you get wrapped up in it that you kind of, like, gloss over.
Yeah. Well, actually, the shark was very well made.
Yeah.
I thought.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's like, to me, it's still that it's terrifying still. You know, I know it's a rubber shark, and, you know, it doesn't have the most realistic movements, but it's still like that thing. It's real to me still.
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
especially the head coming through the hole.
Oh yeah, he's like so yeah, it's just you talk about your experience with Jaws, because you were saying it didn't affect you, well, right, because you didn't go in the water anyway.
Yeah, I didn't go in the water. You know, swimming pools, tubs, showers. That was about it.
You were afraid of the tub too. That was crazy, but you know, it did. It scared me from like going in a tub even. I was like, oh my God, this movie. But yeah, it was the first big blockbuster. It was the first movie to make $100 million. It was huge. I remember how big it was. Everybody was going to see Jaws. You had the Jaws T-shirts, you know, and
still, like I said, the the first and only movie, especially at the time, that I stood in line for was The Exorcist.
You know, that's what I was thinking the other day. After this, it's like I still haven't really watched The Exorcist because that scared the bejesus out of me. There were just, well, I think it ruined that because I saw The Omen as a kid. I got dragged to the drive-in with the rest of the family, and there's just like, I was too young to be watching The Omen. I didn't want to watch it, but you had to go with everybody to the movies at the in the van in the drive-in, and so like ever since then, Exorcist, Carrie, any of those movies, I have like refused. I still haven't watched because they scared me so much as a kid. I was like, I can't. I was. I was like Annie and Sinners talking about.
And it's kind of off subject, but going to see Carrie in the movie.
Okay.
Although I was a young man of dating age, and I said, I'm going to go see this movie. This is going to be good. I went the day before to make sure. I went the day before by myself to make sure I'd be all right in front of any date.
Oh. You're not gonna be like, would be the theater screaming. That's funny. But yeah, so like, I wondered, I was getting at is how well does The Exorcist hold up compared to this film?
Compared to this film.
Have you seen The Exorcist?
No, I have not.
Recent years, as an adult.
No, I haven't.
With the advent of technology and things like that, and
no, I haven't.
Because some like this movie is like the story, the characters, the acting, everything just is done so well it holds up. So I don't, I can't gauge how well a movie like that holds up with them.
Well, I'm sure The Exorcist would hold up because
I'm still not watching it.
I watch movies like that and take it in.
Okay.
So I would take out and I'd go,
You would take it and go, what?
But Jaws, I'm still not getting in the water.
The ocean is lovely. It's dangerous, but I love the ocean. I do.
It won't be dangerous to me.
Okay.
I'm staying here. At the most I'm dealing with is sand crabs. Okay. That's it.
And them sand crabs was all over Chrissy in the beginning of that movie.
Yes.
And you gonna deal with that? Nuh-uh. Anyway, so Jaws 50th anniversary. Anything? I want to talk about the quality of this. So.
I don't know. For me, the quality of it, everything just works.
Yeah, everything. It's like it's a near perfect movie.
Yeah. Even the way people
it is a perfect movie.
Would act in that situation,
right,
still holds up today.
Right. I think it's like human nature. It's it's the politicians and the business people like not wanting to close the beaches because they're like, we're a summer town and we can't lose business. We gotta. The 4th of July is coming. It's our biggest time of year where we make money, and that's and that's such a human thing. And even with the mayor, it's like once another attack happens and everybody was on the beach, and he doesn't come around till he realizes, well, my kids were on the beach too. It's like, where were you when everybody else's kids were getting eat up? Now you scared because your kids were on the beach. And the crazy thing is they had all the people there,
right?
And they weren't going in the water. It's like, well, you got your business there. People are on the beach. Why are you sending them in the water? Let just chill. They're in your town. They're gonna spend money. So anyway,
the only thing that didn't work for me was the so-called mother of the kid who came dressed
Alex
in
Kintner.
black, and she came and she said, You did this.
Oh, I love her scene.
Oh, I think she still looks like, too old for that.
She was that actress. I think she was a local actress in the area, and I think they filmed this on, was it Martha's Vineyard or something? But she was in her mid-40s, and of course the kid was probably like about 12. So I mean, like she was an older mom. She was not. Everybody, when you look at old movies, everybody looks older. But.
Well, so it's that's a shame.
But that's one of the, I always like, my son is dead now. I just want you to know that. It's one of my quotable lines, But I have lots of quotable lines in here. And that's included. This movie has one of the most quotable lines in the existence of movies.
Yes.
And that line is,
"You're going to need a bigger boat."
You're going to need a bigger boat. Useful in many situations where you have inadequate supply of something, you can break out that line.
That's right.
So I've heard it many, many times from people.
Yes.
It's a great line. That's a great scene that's like the first time you see the shark.
Yes.
In the film, kind of that full glory, and it pops up, and the way Roy Scheider he just pops up and just backs in to talk to Quint.
A bigger boat.
And the story of male egos and just Quint being just batshit crazy nutcase dude, but at the same time, you had his respect. I mean, this is what he did for a living. He caught sharks, and of course, Robert Shaw gives one of the great movie monologues in this when he talks about the USS Indianapolis. They have that scene on the boat where they're comparing, scars and everything, and he breaks into that. Yes. And I was just heard recently that story, it's a true story about the ship that delivered the bomb that bombed Hiroshima. Well, and on its way back, it got hit by 2 torpedoes and sank. Right. And they didn't send a distress signal because it had been a secret mission. It had been so secret.
Right. Well, just to make it was there to record the information because the bomb was taken by the Enola Gay.
No, but it had to deliver it to that island for the Enola Gay to be loaded to the Enola Gay and fly it to there. So, and that was. Yeah, and I'm not going to go into the rest of it. Watch that scene if you've never heard the story and the way Robert Shaw tells it, and it's just harrowing and frightening. It's one of the most, frightening things, and it gets in your head, when you're dealing with what they're about dealing with.
Yes, and it's a great story to put into that movie.
I mean, that's what I'm talking about, the writing of this. I'm not sure, I've never read the book. I'm not sure how much of that may have been included in the book or the script writers who thought to include that with this character. Still one of the great characters in any movie anywhere, and a great performance is by Robert Shaw as Quint. And I wanted watching it. I've watched this movie several times over the years, and only recently I think when his first appearance is his hand scratching a chalkboard.
Yes.
Which explains his personality quite a bit. Yes. And in past, they've always muted out that sound. And just watching it this weekend, they had that back in. I was like, holy God. It's interesting that it's been muted out. I've seen it several times, and that spark's been muted out for some reason. But it's there. It's perfect. It works. It's supposed to make you cringe, much like he makes you cringe. But at the same time, just love everybody in this.
Well, that is this one thing with the movie. It always gives you something. I could be working on my car, no water, no rain, no nothing, and I'll have a wrench, and then somebody else will say, "Oh, they'll look at the wrench and go, "Oh, you need a bigger boat."
Oh.
There's no boat, but I know exactly what he means.
Right. But yeah, but I just I love all the characters in this. Roy Scheider's character, Brody. I love Richard Dreyfuss playing Hooper, and I love their different backgrounds, and them dealing with each other and coming together to try to get this job done. And you earn their respect for all of them. It's like it's like Brody's kind of the more sensible one. Although he's dealing with his fear, he's like he hates the water.
Yes.
And then he has to go out and like kill a shark. And then Hooper being the science, the more sciencey guy, more rich, liberal, and then you have the working class, our Navy veteran. The other thing I like about Quint, his laugh reminds me of my Uncle Morris, who was another Navy guy, and used to wear those sweaters like that. My Uncle Morris wasn't batshit crazy, thankfully, but that's another thing about this character. He kind of nails that like seaman, guy, that guy who's been on the sea, lived on the sea, but that's his life and stuff like that. It just reminds me of that. But yeah, there are characters. I'd also want to mention like Lorraine. I think her name is Lorraine Gary. I wanted to see what she did following this. She plays Brody's wife. I always wonder what happened to the kids during these movies.
Yeah.
They are such like just regular seeming kids. They're not actorly at all. Which is kind of you appreciate. Yes. It's so I know neither of them went on to do anything major, but it's kind of curious to see if they did anything after this movie at all. But anyway, I love this movie. It's 50 years on. It's still a great watch.
It's still right there.
Yeah, and I also like this opening scene with Chrissy, the first fatality of Jaws. I mentioned it when we were watching it. It's up there with the shower scene in Cycle for me. It's that it's harrowing. It's really just.
Well, I mean, you know what? Everything about this movie is right there for you.
It's pretty much a perfect movie. It pretty much is. I know a lot of people say Back to the Future is, which true, but this one is as well. So, any final thoughts on Jaws?
Oh, I got a couple, but I'll leave that as
you're
final.
You're going to need a bigger boat? So your final thought is that you're going to need... No, this is the biggest boat you're going to get. So Jaws, at its 50th anniversary, it's streaming on Peacock. It was on sale. It aired on regular TV on Friday night with commercials, and after a while I got so sick of the commercials I went online and bought the digital version, which was on sale for like $7.99. Who's calling me? I'm talking about Jaws, goddamn. Anyway, so you can watch it there. If you love seeing Jaws, and of course if you haven't seen Jaws, watch it. It's a classic film. And we out.
We are out.
We out.
Bye.